Hi, I'm Dawn. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, back last year in 2022, my husband and I had intentions of retiring to Eastern Europe to the beautiful little country of Georgia. But right after we got there was when everything happened with Russia and Ukraine. And you may not know, you may not have even heard of Georgia. A lot of people haven't. But Georgia is right on the bottom part of Russia, attached to it. Part of it is also on the Black Sea, and Russia even occupies part of Georgia. So it's very similar to Ukraine. And we had just gotten there. We'd only been there about a month and a half, and we were hearing everything that was going on with Ukraine. Nobody knew what was going to happen, and they were going through Chernobyl, and radiation was getting higher, and we made the decision to come back home to Colorado, and that's what we did. That's where we are now, in our little cabin up in the Colorado mountains. But even after we got back, we noticed we had this sense of urgency all the time and alarm all the time, because I don't know if we carried it back from Georgia or just from all the headlines that were still happening even here in the United States with the inflation and the different things going on. But we constantly felt like we were on alert. We constantly felt like we should be doing this. We should be preparing this. How do we learn to do this? And it was just go, 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 go all the time. So I felt the Lord put on my heart to begin a channel where I go on a journey of unplugging just for a few minutes, not because the headlines aren't real, not because the things going on in the world are not still going on. We're not putting our head in the sand, but for a few minutes, just stopping and having some fun together, doing things enjoyable, and remembering that God is good and that we can still find joy in life. No matter what's going on around us, as we call out to Him and reach out to Him, we can remember that He is there. And that's why I also share scriptures with you. And I put links in the description always about how to know more about God and become a follower of Jesus, if that's of interest to you. So I invite you to come along with me as I journey on these videos, and we do things like simple gardening techniques that anybody can do. You can even do them in your home. You can do them if you live in an apartment. You don't have to have a giant space. There's a few that we do that really you need outside space for, but there's a whole lot you don't. And I'll link some of those videos down below if you're interested too. And then there's money saving tips. I grew up around the Amish, and there's a lot of ways that they have learned to do things differently. And it's not hard, it's not difficult, and it saves money. And so we do some of those tips as well. Some recipes that I can't have milk, so they're vegan recipes, and they help that way. But they're also recipes that can be non-vegan, because the rest of my family can have milk. They don't have to be vegan, and so we do both. So there's those, and just other ways to organize and enjoy yourself as you go throughout your journey of life. So that sounds something that you would like to do. Please hit the subscribe button to be notified when we have upcoming videos, and you'll find out with the latest material and things that we have. Okay, so without further talking, let's get into today's video. In today's video, we're going to go over some tips for making your bedroom a relaxing retreat. And before you tune out and say, oh, I don't have the money for that, I don't have the time for that, these are super simple, super easy ways that anybody can use. And I'm going to walk you through 6 different tips that you might consider that will really help your bedroom be a relaxing retreat for you. And it doesn't take a lot of money. It doesn't take a lot of time. So let's get started. So the first one on the list is blocking out extra light. And I'm going to walk you through a couple of ways. You can see the light right here on my hair, and I did that on purpose. I'm going to show you in a moment. In our bedroom, it's in a loft, and the previous owners had put in a skylight, which is fun at nighttime with the stars, but not so fun if you're trying to sleep and the light is just blasting you. So that is going to be the first tip, and I'm going to show you something I figured out how to do. It really cost me absolutely nothing, And there's other ways to do this too, but I'm going to show you this. And it's a way that I block out the skylight when we're trying to sleep, or if, say, it's going to be on a weekend and I know that we're not going to be getting up early, I'll go ahead and do this as well. And that way, when the sun's coming up and things, we can have the room much darker, which really helps with relaxing. So here is what I do. So this is our skylight. You can see there's a little bit of snow on there. We've been getting a lot of snow lately, but that light comes right down on our bed, right about there. And even though the pillows are up further, that light is enough. You can even see it over here. It certainly, it's my glasses, shouldn't leave them like that. It certainly does keep you awake. And if you're trying to watch a movie or something, it is really, really bright. So this pillow that I have sitting right here, I found is the perfect size to cover that up. And I'll show you the difference in the light here in just a moment. When we got back from Georgia, my son had bought these. These are called European pillows, and you can get them in any regular store. I'd never heard of them, but they're, as you can see, big squares instead of like ours in the United States are mostly long, like the ones up there. But these big squares, I left the pillowcase that I have on it on there because it actually helps with that. So what I do, I just stuff it up there. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. I've never done it one-handed. There it goes. Okay, it fits perfectly. It cost me nothing. And now you can see all the light that was coming in is gone. And it is completely dark in here. So if I go back and I shut off the actual light, like this light right there, it is completely dark. So let me do that really quick. So here is the difference if you're sleeping or watching a movie or whatever you're doing in your bedroom with that pillow that cost me nothing because my son already had it, but you could get it at thrift stores or you can get it at a store not for much. And here is the difference when you take it out and how much light comes in the room from that. So it really, really helps block out the light. And there's another way to block out light that we learned when we were in Alaska. All right, so here we are in what's going to be my son's room when he gets home from the Army. So proud of him. You can see that I'm looking out a window, obviously. One thing that we found in Alaska, actually people told us when we first got there, you have to get room darkening curtains. Now, of course, in Alaska, there's reasons for that. It can be light all night long. But even if you're just trying to bring a little ambiance or relax a little bit, or even if you're a third shifter and you need it to be dark during the daytime, these really do help. This set of curtains we have right there are room darkening curtains. Now, it won't make it completely dark in here because there's another window we don't use it for and things like that. But I'm going to show you the difference. So I'm going to shut off the light. And that helps a little bit, obviously, but there's still quite a bit of light coming in. Then I'm going to shut these curtains and I'll show you again. Okay, now that makes a big, big difference. It's not completely dark because we don't use it for room darkening in here. And you'll see the way that we've got that at the top, it lets in a little light. And then I also wanted to show you too, and this is bringing in a little light as well. Once you have your room as dark as you want it, you can do things like this, where this is just an ivy wrapped around a shelf pole, and you can put those twinkle lights in there. And it's really nice when you're laying there at night, maybe listening to some music or just relaxing in your room, and it's darkened like this. It's still light enough you can see, but it certainly is relaxing. So that's a thought you can do. And of course, if we turn those lights off, it would be even darker in here. Or if you wanted to do like they do in Alaska, you can get completely room darkening curtains, not with the hoops at the top, and it will get really, really dark in your room. And of course, if you don't have a skylight or those room darkening curtains don't sound like what you want to do, another way that you can block out light when you're trying to rest, of course, is getting a sleep mask. And they have really, really comfortable ones that will help you sleep and relax and rest. So that's something to keep in mind too. That's an easy one to get to block out light and relax in your room. All right, and then tip number 2 would be to have sound therapy. And what I mean by that is when you are in your room and you're relaxing, you're just visiting, you're talking, whatever you do in your room, You can have on obviously YouTube videos have a lot of these out there. There's of course all kinds of music streaming services, but whatever relaxing music you might like, such as jazz, a lot of people relax to jazz, or classical music is another really big one. And then there is things like the waterfalls and the rain. There's heavy rain with thunderstorms, if that's something that relaxes you, or there's gentle rain you can listen to, all kinds of them. And there's even really nice ones on YouTube I have found that you can search for things that says like black screen, and then it'll have a rain sound or a wave sound, or whichever you like, but it has a black screen with it. So you can put it on your TV or even on your phone, but it doesn't have that glaring bright light. And a lot of those are either live 24 hours, so they just keep going, or they're for 8 hours or 10 hours, so you can use them all night long and sleep to them. So that's a great one for number 2. And then right along that same line with number 3 is aromatherapy, and that one could be so many things for different people. It's whatever kind of aromas are good to you and really make a difference for you. And aromas are something that affect all of us. You can smell something, and I mean, in seconds, you are back in your childhood at your grandma's house, and you just feel that. It's very powerful. And the scriptures I'll be reading here in a moment, they talk about the power of the aroma as well. So I thought those were perfect for today. But one of the things you can use are candles. And as you probably know, oh, this one smells so good. They come in so many different scents. So you can get the lavenders or the eucalyptus or pine trees, or if you like the food ones, you can get those, the ones that smell like vanilla sugar cookies or whatever. So that is one way you can do that. Another way, of course, is essential oils. Now, this is not something I have done a lot. I know that they're much more concentrated. So certainly if you're going to use them, check out the directions and follow those. But I found this set of essential oil gift kit. It was actually recommended when I was getting a humidifier, because it is so dry here that I'm using small humidifiers in the rooms. And this came with this set of different ones that you can use. And of course, different ones give you different feelings. Like the eucalyptus is supposed to be very stress relieving, and lavender is supposed to be stress relieving, and so just different ones, whatever kind of scents that you would like. Now, if you want something like what I have, it's super simple to use that way. So this is the bottom part of a humidifier that we're going to be using, and you just put, that's a foam piece, and you put a few drops of whichever one you want to use, whichever scent in that, and the water actually runs over it, and it makes the room smell like that scent. So that is absolutely wonderful. So for our scriptures today, in Genesis 8:21 in the Complete Jewish Bible, it says, Adonai, the Lord, smelled the sweet aroma, and Adonai said in his heart, I will never again curse the ground because of humankind, since the imaginings of a person's heart are evil from his youth, nor will I ever again destroy all living things as I have done. And then in the New Testament, in Ephesians 5:1-2, in the New International Version, follow God's example, therefore, as dearly loved children, and walk in the way of love, just as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us as a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God. Tip number 4 would be to invest in good pillows. I tell you what, especially with having 5 kids growing up and everything else, they spill things, they tear things up. I used to just get the cheapest pillows we could find, $2, $5. Yep, that's fine, that's good. I did not realize the difference that a good pillow could make for you. Now, of course, they have the ones out there, like I think there's one called Mr. Pillow or something like that, and that one's pretty famous. I've never tried it myself, so I can't speak to it, but they have those kind. But then you can also find ones that, the ones behind me are called cooling pillows, because my husband gets very hot when he sleeps. So they actually feel cool to the touch. And you can look at those, and that might be something that really helps you relax. Or they have some that are filled with buckwheat, and that's supposed to help people. They have the firm ones and the soft ones, depending on how you sleep. So look into that, see what you think might be best for you, and make a choice to look and see if it doesn't make a difference. If you get a really good solid pillow. That doesn't mean it's a $150 pillow. I don't even know if there are pillows for that much money. I have never spent that kind of money. I suppose there is. But look at getting a better pillow than just that one that's on the end cap at the store that, yep, that's fine, that'll work. And see if it doesn't make a difference. And then tip number 5, same thing, whether you spend a lot of money, you spend a little bit of money, you go to the thrift shop, whatever, invest in some really good sleepwear. Now, that doesn't have to be really expensive sleepwear. What feels good to you? Like, I have an example here. This one, it's so soft. It was not expensive at all, but I love wearing this one. It just feels like I'm wrapping up in a soft towel every time I put it on, and I can feel myself relaxing when I put it on. Some people like silk. I just don't like the feeling of that, but some people really like silk. So you could get silk pajamas, and you'll be surprised when you put a little bit of thought into that and you really make some conscious choices on those. It really makes a difference with how you feel when you're relaxing an evening and even when you're sleeping. And then number 5, I'm going to show you here in a moment. I'm going to show a few different ways, just really quickly, how to do this that could make a difference for you in the way that it feels, the same way sleepwear does, but also just mentally. Make sure that you get something for your bedding that you really enjoy. It makes a difference in the way your whole room looks, whether you use a big fat comforter or a duvet cover, or you like to put a quilt on that maybe your grandma made for you or something, or you just like to put blankets over the top. And again, I'm going to run through a couple of different looks just so you can see how it actually changes the look of that. So it'll change the way it feels when you're sleeping, but it also changes the look of the room, and it gives it a different feel that way too. And that can make a difference in the way you relax. What colors do you really enjoy? What fabrics do you really enjoy? So think about that when you're making those choices. So I'm going to show you those really quick, and then I'll come back and we'll do the bonus. So that was tip number 5. And then the bonus tip, or number 6, the bonus tip is think about your mattress itself. And the reason I'm showing you this one, I'm going to take this, the sheet off in a moment and show you, but you can see right here, it actually goes down just a little bit. So it could be that one of you sleeps and needs a little bit firmer space than the other one. But you don't want to have the expensive beds that go up and down. Maybe you do. Those are wonderful if you can afford those and you want those. But if you want something simpler, we were able to find something that works for both of us by getting just a mattress pad. We just got one off of Amazon. You can get a twin size one if you want to do like we did, where you split it, where one side has the higher and then the other side is lower. But as you can see, it's not very much. So it doesn't bother us. It doesn't feel like we're on 2 separate beds at all. Whereas if you had it way high up, it really would. So I'll show you what it looks like underneath. So here it is underneath. This is the pad itself, you can see. And then that's actually obviously the regular mattress. And then we just put a mattress, a good mattress pad or cover over it. And then we put our regular sheet over it. Doesn't bother us at all, and we both get to sleep really well. So you don't have to worry about one of you needs firm, one of you needs soft, so somebody's not getting a good night rest. Or if you just have a bed for yourself, you can get a mattress pad, and that would help as well. If you need something firmer, or if you need something to be a little bit softer, definitely look into those options. It doesn't have to be expensive, and you might be surprised at how much better you end up sleeping. That's it. That is our 6 tips plus a bonus for ways that you can bring relaxation into your room without spending a lot of money. You can be creative, you can do it all sorts of ways and make it your space, make it your own, make it a relaxing retreat for you to go to after no matter what kind of day you've had. And it can be really, really fun doing it too. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If so, consider hitting the like button. Please do remember to subscribe so you can get notified when we have new videos. And if you have a tip for someone of what you have found that really helps make your bedroom a relaxing retreat, put it in the comments below. I'd love to read it, and I know other people would as well. Thanks so much. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.